This is ABC7 News at 5:30. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Welcome back. A new ferry service on the Suncoast is looking more and more like a done deal. The Sarasota-Bradenton Ferry has now been approved, and organizers hope it will cut down on traffic on our roads. The drive from the 10th Street boat ramp in Sarasota to Anna Maria Island can take anywhere from 35 to 45 minutes without traffic, but that same commute takes just 28 minutes on the water. The view's a little better too. ABC7's Erica Jackson joins us now live from the 10th Street boat ramp with when the ferry service should begin and why some people are not in favor of it. Erica?
Good evening, Scott. There's not an exact location for where the ferry will stop, but we know it will be within a few feet of the 10th Street boat ramp. As you can see behind me, all these spots that are vacant right here, these are designated for vehicles attached to trailers. And a lot of boaters that regularly travel out of here, they're concerned not because of the amount of spots here for the cars with the trailers, but because there's not too many designated for cars standing alone.
It's beautiful. We got a great fishery. We got, some of the best views. It's just beautiful.
Charter Captain Dawson Day has nothing but love for Sarasota Bay. He understands why many people would use the recently approved Sarasota-Bradenton ferry, but he thinks it will take away the quiet bay's charm.
Putting more traffic on the water. Might be slower, no wake zones.
The ferry is going to run on such an airtight schedule that just like the marine life, the people will get used to seeing us out there and will know where we are and where to expect us.
The ferry's marketing director, Chris Johnson, says the 149-passenger vessel will run all day, but management is still working on the final schedule. Right now, the group will just operate one boat with plans for 30 daily voyages in the future, with stops at the Bradenton Riverwalk, Bradenton Beach Bridge Street Pier, and Sarasota's 10th Street boat ramp. Day is concerned about the crowds at the boat ramp since there are only 14 parking spaces designated for cars, while there are nearly 80 for vehicles pulling trailers.
It's 150 person, they'd have to add 50 to 100 car parking spots.
Johnson says the ferry team will be working with ride-sharing companies and local free rides to solve the issue in Sarasota. On Anna Maria, 40% of parking spaces are occupied by commuting drivers, so he hopes more employees traveling to the island for work will take advantage of the ferry.
One of our hope in moving the workforce is that it actually alleviates parking in that situation.
Even though Day doesn't think many people will go out of their way to catch the ferry, he thinks the 10th Street stop will give real addiction fishing charters great publicity.
More people seeing us on the water, seeing what we do, seeing us here cleaning fish at the boat ramp.
The ferry is expected to begin operating during the first few months of 2018. Reporting live in Sarasota, Erica Jackson, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
All right, Erica, thank you so much. Now to new developments surrounding the Florida nursing home where 14 people died after Hurricane Irma. The rehabilitation center at Hollywood Hills lost power after the storm and residents were in sweltering conditions. Family members of one resident, Albertina Vega, say they are outraged the facility billed Vega after she died. They say they were shocked to see the bank withdraw an overdraft fee on her account. Vega, who was 99 years old at the time of her death, was charged $958 on what would have been her 100th birthday. The nursing home is blaming an automatic payment system for the error and claims the family has been refunded. Education officials are warning teachers, parents, and staff of a cyber threat that's targeting school districts across the country. So far, at least 3 states have been targeted by the extortion attempt from hackers. They include districts in Iowa, Montana, and Nebraska. These hackers are asking schools to give them money, or the group say they will release stolen private records. These attacks have prompted schools to close in some cases. The Department of Education says states with weak cybersecurity are the most at risk. Soon, you may have to leave your laptop at home when you fly. Under a proposal being recommended by an international air safety panel, laptops could be banned from checked baggage because of a fire risk. According to a report, an overheating laptop battery could cause a fire in a cargo hold that equipment aboard the plane would not be able to extinguish, which would lead to the loss of the aircraft. The ban will be considered by the International Civil Aviation Organization at its meeting later this month. All right, time again to get a check on our Friday evening weather with meteorologist Josh Stone, who's in for Bob tonight.
All right, thanks so much, Scott. Yeah, I think we're calling for, or I know we're calling for partly cloudy skies tonight, but we will have maybe a stray shower in the early evening hours. Watching some activity on the radar, a few isolated showers here in southern Sarasota County, pushing parts of Charlotte County as well. I think these in eastern Charlotte County are going to dissipate, but the one here in southern Sarasota County just tracking maybe to the north of Inglewood right now. This doesn't have any lightning, at least from what I see on this graphic, but it does look to have some isolated heavy rain coming down. But this is pushing westward, and not too long from now it will make its way into the Gulf of Mexico and be out of our way for any sort of Friday night plans you may have. 73 for the overnight low for this evening. It's going to be breezy though, easterly, northeasterly wind at 10 to 15 miles per hour with some higher wind gusts. And of course, we'll talk more about your forecast and what next week has planned for us in just a few minutes from now. Back to you, Scott.
All right, Josh, thank you. Questions still linger tonight about a deadly ambush in Niger that left 4 Special Forces soldiers dead. Defense Secretary James Mattis is meeting with lawmakers as one top Republican has threatened subpoenas to get more information. ABC's Janae Norman has the latest on how a train and assist mission turned deadly.
Members of Congress accusing the Trump administration of not being forthcoming with information about a deadly ambush in a remote part of the African nation of Niger.
We'll investigate this. We'll have conclusions, and those conclusions will be presented. I'm not prepared to go further.
Chairman of the Senate Armed Forces Committee, Senator John McCain, saying it may take subpoenas to gather details of what happened to the American soldiers assigned to train and assist Niger's army in fighting terrorists.
Just because it's called train and assist doesn't mean that it's not dangerous.
U.S. forces have been in the country for the last 4 years. The 4 soldiers were part of a Green Beret battalion. Officials say the unit didn't expect to be in combat, but became overwhelmed by a force of about 50 ISIS militants.
There's a reason we have U.S. Army soldiers there and not the Peace Corps, because we carry guns.
Defense Secretary James Mattis ignored questions about the attack today, but 2 key questions remain. Did the unit have the proper advance intelligence and backup support in case something went wrong? And was Sergeant LaDavid Johnson, whose body wasn't recovered for at least 20 hours, left behind?
It took us a little while to do that. We didn't leave him behind, and we searched until we found him, and we brought him home.
General Mattis met with Senators Lindsey Graham and John McCain today, just 1 day after Pentagon officials said the Department of Defense would do everything they could to provide as much information as possible. Janae Norman, ABC News, Washington.
President Trump is promising the biggest tax cuts in the history of our country following Senate passage of a $4 trillion budget. That budget plan lays the groundwork for action on a tax overhaul Republicans hope to push through by the end of the year. They'll now be able to get the plan through the Senate without Democratic votes. Also today, House Speaker Paul Ryan said the GOP was adding a 4th tax bracket for high-income people to the 3 already in its proposal. Lyft is getting a $1 billion lift. Alphabet, which is the parent company of Google, is announcing its growth equity fund is leading a $1 billion investment in the ride-sharing service. The financial boost will give Lyft more momentum in the United States. The latest funding round values Lyft at $11 billion, up from $7.5 billion back in April. Uber, though, by comparison, was last valued at $70 billion. An update now on a Suncoast landmark that's been closed since Hurricane Irma. According to the Venice City engineer, temporary repairs have been completed on the popular Venice fishing pier. That pier will now open to the public again tomorrow, but it will only be open during the daytime hours. The lights on the pier still need to be fixed, which will likely happen over the next week or so. City plans to replace the pier's deck and railing sometime in the spring. Still to come in your Suncoast News tonight, taking soda companies to court. Why the soda giants are facing big-time legal trouble over popular diet sodas.
your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
Why settle for less? Get more for your money at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Subaru is the best overall brand for 2 years running and the most trusted brand for 3 years running, according to Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com. Right now, you can lease one of Subaru's most versatile vehicles, the Subaru Crosstrek, for as little as $199 a month, or get 2.9% financing with complimentary maintenance included. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-685-6422, 800-685-6422.
I heard about the Dotoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Dotoli Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
It's no small wonder anybody loves it all.
I just love art that moves me.
No small,
I mean really moves me.
Wonder.
Sunset Fiat of Sarasota presents No Small Wonder. High performance style. Let the art of Fiat move you.
Now to those major lawsuits targeting 3 of the biggest diet soda brands. The suits accuse the companies of misleading marketing and say the artificial sweetener they use may actually cause weight gain. As ABC's Maggie Rulli reports, the companies that use aspartame are now coming under fire.
When it comes to drinking soda, diet must be better for you, right?
A Diet Dr. Pepper.
But scientific studies show the opposite is true. The fake sweet stuff may lead to weight gain and obesity.
You need to remember our bodies are 60% water, not 60% sweetened beverage.
Now proposed class action lawsuits are taking on the beverage giants Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and Dr. Pepper Snapple Group, the 3 largest U.S. makers of carbonated beverages, alleging that the marketing of their diet sodas are false, misleading, and unlawful to consumers, deceiving shoppers into thinking the beverages will help them manage or lose weight.
There's no question this is deceptive advertising.
The suits also claim aspartame, the artificial sweetener used in these diet sodas, is likely to cause weight gain rather than to help in weight loss or healthy weight management.
These products are not helpful in losing weight. They may, in fact, do exactly the opposite.
Although the studies cited in the lawsuit don't show conclusively that aspartame directly causes weight gain, several do show a correlation between diet soda consumption and obesity.
Obesity is a complex disorder.
The Calorie Control Council, whose members include manufacturers of artificial sweeteners like aspartame and the makers of diet soda, said reduced calorie products are an important tool in helping consumers improve their diet and lose weight. And in a statement to ABC News, the American Beverage Association, which represents these 3 soda companies, has called the lawsuits meritless, saying that diet beverages have been shown to help people manage their diet and weight. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, New York.
All right, time now to check your first alert traffic. And right now we're seeing traffic tied up on both the Green and DeSoto bridges in Manatee County, which is pretty typical for this time of day, especially on a Friday as people rushing to get home. Now let's get a check on our weather with meteorologist Josh Stone in for Bob tonight.
Yeah, that's one bridge I like to avoid on a Friday night. Wow. Well, it's a beautiful Friday evening right now. We're going to have a beautiful sunset. Clear skies for the most part, 85 degrees, humidity at 55%. Only issue here is the easterly wind, pretty strong, sustained at 17 miles per hour. Some issues, though, also with some wet weather. They're isolated showers, but a little more activity taking place on the radar. I don't see any lightning depicted from these showers or isolated storms, but they are producing some moderate to heavy downpours in isolated areas. Take a look here. One little cell traveling just to the south of Venice here, but this is all moving out to the Gulf of Mexico. Some sprinkle showers here moving into eastern Sarasota County, but for the most part, I don't think this is going to hamper getting in those football games on this Friday evening. How about the almanac today? We topped out at 87 degrees. That's above the average of 84. And our rainfall, boy, nothing. We've only had 31/100ths of an inch this month, and we're closing in on a deficit of 2 inches for the month. So will we have rain in our forecast? Drum roll, please. It looks like that could happen and help put a dent in that deficit as we get to next week. The story, though, tonight, the breezy conditions, 15 miles per hour, pretty much spread around the entire Suncoast on this Friday evening. And it looks like the winds will be cranking again for tomorrow, at least the first half, then start to die down in the afternoon and evening hours of tomorrow. But we are calling for mostly sunny skies for our Saturday. And then look what happens as we get into Sunday. A little more activity on the radar, and our futurecast here starts to light up with the first round, if you will, of some shower activity coming our way. But the bigger round will actually come by Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, thanks to a trough that's just starting to depict itself here in the northwest, in the Pacific Northwest. That's going to slide all the way down to the southeast and help cool down the weather, that is, into the 70s as we get into mid-next week. The tropics are quiet. Other here in the Western Caribbean, we do have some activity, just some disorganized thunderstorms and showers, but the models do depict something that could flare up in the Caribbean and come our way by late next work week and into next weekend. But I think that's going to run into some upper-level wind shear. It won't be a full-blown storm or anything like that, but still could bring us some breezy conditions and some wet weather. For the boaters on our Saturday, well, at least the first half, it's not going to be so great. Easterly wind about 15 to 20 knots, sea is 2 to 4 feet with a moderate chop in the bays. But we'll have partly to mostly sunny skies in our forecast for a Saturday. For the boaters, the low tide tomorrow morning will be at 8:48 a.m. Tonight's low dips down to 73 degrees, breezy conditions. So hold on to your hat if you're going to be outside tonight. Actually, as Scott and I were talking about earlier, maybe some of these winds will affect some of these field goals that we'll see tonight in some of the football games. Tomorrow's going to be warm again. Remember, the average is in the mid-80s, so we should be above that tomorrow. Mostly sunny skies, still a little windy out there. And then, bam, here comes that cold front I was talking about in the Pacific Northwest, comes our way by mid-next week. And it looks like we're going to get some wet weather and some cooler conditions, but this is probably going to be embraced by a handful of people here in the Suncoast. Well, okay, you know what? The wind and the waves kept ABC7 Bob Harrigan on dry land this week, but the fishing proved to be perfect on the beaches of Longboat Key.
Well, this lovely couple from the rubber capital of the world, Akron, OHIO, hired coach Steve Herrick of Beach Fishing Adventures to wrap their vacation up. Fishing from the groins of Longboat Key and using greenbacks, the reluctant angler, Nancy, hooks up first.
There you go. Now hold your rod up. Hold your rod up. There you go. He's still on. He's still on. That's all right. Let him take it.
Good. Reel.
And get some great tips from the coach as she reels it in.
Hold the rod up.
Okay.
See the rod up there?
Okay.
Let that do the work. When you start to lose your bend, go with it. If he pulls, you're not even real. Oh, there he goes. You see that jump?
Nancy, the novice, was a fast learner and kept bringing them in, all to the delight of husband and avid angler Tony, who told me in private, I hope she gets hooked on this.
Now, Nancy, what do you think so far?
I think this is a lot of fun.
After this day, he won't have to twist her arm to go fishing again, as she was having a ball. as a school of Spanish Macs kept tugging on the line. And it wasn't just Spanish mackerel that were hitting, as she battles this much bigger fish. And she was getting tips from everyone, including this gentleman who was visiting from New York, telling her how to cook it.
Overnight in Italian dressing. Remember, Italian dressing fixes anything.
A beautiful day on Longboat Key as even Tony manages to catch something he was targeting earlier.
Keep in the water. Oh, look at that. Nice flounder.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful.
I think that's a keeper, isn't it?
Later, I had the chance to wet a line and haul in a nice one as well on this nice day fishing from the shoreline.
Hey, you know what? When you're fishing off the beach, there's nothing better. I totally recommend it. Just relax, don't worry, and be happy. That's the bottom line.
I love that, you know, you don't always need a boat to catch some really good-looking fish.
Just right off the pier, and the water was calm, and pretty good fishing earlier this week.
Very good fishing. All right. We'll be right back with entertainment news.
What to do when your heating or air conditioning needs service or, heaven forbid, replacement? Call Air Now today. We've been serving Sarasota and Manatee counties since 1946. We offer $49.95 tune-ups, lease or finance options, and remember, service today or it's free.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential. There's no cost and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
Did you know that Sarasota County was the first in Florida to be recognized as an age-friendly community? Whether you're 22 or 82, we strive to be the best place to live, work, and play. A community rich with opportunities and things to do for people of all ages. On Saturday, October 28th, we're advancing this movement with a free community event featuring live entertainment and hands-on experiences. You won't want to miss our entire community coming together for an age-friendly festival presented by the Patterson Foundation.
Hi, I'm Chef Bob. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday morning on ABC7, where we'll be serving up the most awesome dishes. Then stop by your neighborhood Publix, pick up the recipe card and all the ingredients.
Monday at 4 on Suncoast View. The Suncoast is doing something no other community has done before. I'm Stephanie Roberts on Suncoast View. We are kicking off the Age Friendly Festival, the first celebration in the nation to focus on lifelong well-being. We're also celebrating Eat Local Week and highlighting our area's food resources, plus fall book picks with Bookstore One, and we'll welcome C'est La Vie in the kitchen. Monday at 4 on Suncoast View.
Explore amazing merchants on the Suncoast. Find great prices, products, and services. Go to mysuncoast.com to buy local today.
Yet another celebrity is coming forward with allegations against Harvey Weinstein. Oscar-winning actress Lupita Nyong'o says she had several encounters with Weinstein, including a 2011 incident in which she said he offered her a massage at his Connecticut home. In an article published by the New York Times, Nyong'o wrote that she instead offered to give Weinstein a massage, but left when he told her he wanted to take off his pants. She described several other encounters with him over the years. She also said she later declined an offer to appear in one of his movies. For the first time, Hugh Hefner will grace the cover of Playboy magazine by himself. The magazine is giving its founder a cover solo in the wake of his death. Hefner was 91 years old when he died last month. The November-December issue of Playboy will honor him with a side profile photo taken back in 1965. Hefner was 39 years old at the time. In addition to the front page, the first 6 pages of the issue will celebrate the late publisher's life. Singer Ed Sheeran is talking about his struggles with substance abuse. The Daily Mail reports Sheeran spoke about his troubles with British talk show host Jonathan Ross. The singer admits he fell into the pitfalls of fame, particularly drinking. Sheeran says he had to take a year off from the music industry to get himself back on track. He credits music and his girlfriend for saving him, saying he's cut down quite a bit on drinking. A show that's been on the E! Network for more than 2 decades is now ending. The long-running series called Fashion Police will come to an end next month with a special finale featuring its late host and co-creator Joan Rivers. The series began in 1995, became a staple of the red carpet at major award shows with Rivers commentating on celebrities' looks. It continued after her death in 2014 with her daughter Melissa as a co-host. Fashion Police: The Farewell will air on November 27th. And would you pay $1,000 for a bagel? Well, starting November 1st, you can. The Westin Hotel in Times Square, New York, is offering this jewel. The one-of-a-kind bagel features Elba white truffle cream cheese and goji berry infused jelly with golden leaves. The $1,000 bagel must be ordered 24 hours in advance, but there is a bonus benefit. The proceeds will all go to New York's largest soup kitchen. When you don't know what to do with your money, there you go. We'll be right back with more news. Stay with us.